After developing 28-ish visual ideas, you are to combine them, like using them as Lego blocks to develop your 6 to 8 clock design ideas. They are actually clock design, but they are done in front view. And ultimately, your final initial ideas that has to be done should be in isometric format. But you can't just show me this one here. You've got to show me that you've got your 28-ish design ideas first. Those are not clock designs, but just visual elements that you like to see. And then you use those 28-ish elements, like Lego blocks, to create 6 to 8 clock design ideas. Those ideas can be done in front view, doesn't have to be isometric. And from those 6 to 8 ideas, or just 4 to 8 clock design ideas in front view, you are to develop it into the isometric one, which means you are to translate the front view design into isometric using the grid method. In your book, you are to draw 2 by 2 grid first to do the front view, and then follow the grid, box number 1, box number 2, box number 3, to draw accordingly what's actually in that particular box to help you translate a front view design into isometric one. Or you can do 3 by 3. It could be more precise if you're to use more grid, but it could also be a bit too confusing if it's too much. So maybe 3 by 3 is the best, or just 2 by 2 is up to you. And you should never use no grid because it's not going to be accurate. Make sure you to use a grid to translate it. Remember, just the basics of isometric is that it has to be 30 degree. This line here is 30 degree, and that line here, a short one, is also 30 degree from the horizontal lines. You can do the horizontal design in this direction or the other way around. The other way around is also 30 degree. It's just a different direction, but they are also isometric. But this website can help you if you struggle to do it on the book first. But eventually, I need to see this done in your book, not on the computer, right? So you have to do this in your book, and you have to connect these lines here, that line there, and you have to remove some of those lines that are covered by, blocked by the clock itself. And you don't have to color it. You can color it, but at least you have to have it done in isometric format, and also strengthen the outline. You see the outline of the clock is strengthened. Yeah, and that's what you have to do. Just a brief explanation to why we have 2 layers. So this is one example. We're going to cut the piece of wood first. It can be a different color. You're going to paint it, right? And then after finishing the base, we're going to cut the acrylic piece. The acrylic piece, we're going to design it in computer. The computer is going to laser cut it for us. You can also engrave patterns on top of the surface, on the surface of the acrylic piece as well. And this is just a very basic version. The battery will be here. The clock hands will be there. You're going to drill a hole to get through it. But the first thing that I'm to check before I let you cut the base after holiday is that you have this. You have this. And you don't just have this. You have the 28-ish ideas, and then you pick from those 28-ish visual elements to develop 4 to 8 clock design ideas in front view, and then you to pick from those to develop this final one that's actually isometric. And just a brief introduction to the functions of this website. This is to use the mouse wheel to zoom in, zoom out, and then you can choose the number of grids, and then you can do drawing by left click drag, that's freehand draw, or you can undo it and use right click drag on your mouse to drag some lines, and you can also undo those lines. And this button is just to see which one you prefer. They both are correct. isometric projection. Both are correct. It's up to you. But then you are not going to print this for me and said, oh, I'm done. You are to do this and draw this properly in your book. And that's it.